The year 2015 was an amazing year for the youth of the Greater New York Conference. We began with our annual 2015 Directors Dinner. This was the perfect opportunity to get everyone on the same page. The GNYC Youth Department staff invited 400 leaders, including AY, Adventurer, and Pathfinder directors from the various churches. They were presented with a wealth of information, including all that was planned for the year. With the directors fully informed, it was time for the highly anticipated Youth Leadership Congress. 500 attendees from GNYC joined the youth from the various conferences for the AU Congress in Rhode Island. Attendees were fed spiritually and physically while receiving relevant training to equip them for their work in youth ministry. The brisk cold of winter was no match for the warmth that was felt at our Recognition Day event. It was standing room only, as over 500 people were in attendance for this event. We celebrated achievements and were filled with joy as youth and leaders alike demonstrated their excitement as their hard work was recognized. A historical and impactful trip to Cuba followed, as 57 people arrived in Cuba to conduct evangelistic series, VBS programs, and impact the lives of thousands with their deeds of compassion. They were the hands and feet of Christ, as they did something and no one left Cuba in the same state they arrived, knowing that 95 got baptized as a result of the evangelistic effort. The experience in Cuba kindled a desire to continue the encounter with God. It was a fun day for everyone as hundreds gathered at the Woolman Rink in Central Park. There were some who skated as good as Olympians and others who did a lot of sitting on the ice. But one thing was for sure, everyone had fun. In the next event, dozens of representatives from the GNYC joined forces with the others from AU in Bermuda to be the hands and feet of Jesus during the AU Compassion Weekend. Realizing that we can never do too much to share compassion, the GNYC Youth and NEC Youth Departments joined forces to do something and share compassion. The result? A compassion weekend where over 50 projects were completed, including a major parade and rally in Coney Island. This led to a powerful impact on the lives of thousands of people throughout the New York metropolitan area. Together, the two conferences did something for New York, leaving a lasting impact. This event was the opener for the summer season, which is always exciting. Summer 2015 was no exception. Our youth were motivated to do something, and so they did. With eager anticipation for the camp season, dozens headed to Camp Berkshire for the Adventist Youth Workday. After much work, Camp Berkshire was ready for Pathfinder Camporee and all the activities for the summer. Thousands of Pathfinders determined to do something and make a difference arrived at Berkshire and participated in a full weekend of activities. Lives were changed, and many did not leave camp the same way they came. The adventurers were also eager to have an encounter of their own. Over 1,500 adventurers, their parents, and staff arrived at Berkshire for Adventure Camporee. They participated in various activities, and everyone left determined to do something for Jesus. Representatives from the GNYC then traveled to the General Conference session in San Antonio, Texas, determined to do something and make a difference for the World Church. After an exciting experience at the General Conference session, it was time to head back to Camp Berkshire and resume the camp season, beginning with Franco-Haitian camp meeting. It was an exciting week, which led many to a closer walk with God. English camp followed, with a power-packed day of praise and worship. It was a Sabbath day where the presence of God was felt by hundreds in attendance. People left refreshed and glowing from their worship experience. See something, say something, do something was the theme for Spanish camp. As the week went on, attendance increased as hundreds of youth focused on doing something to make a difference in their Christian walk. It was a fun-filled week, and many left committed to a closer walk with Christ. The summer comes to an end with a grand celebration of our various cultures at United Camp Meeting. With a parade of ministry and cultures, we were able to get a glimpse of heaven. The presentation of the bridegroom opened our eyes to the preparation that is needed for this era. It is safe to say the camp season had an explosive end, leaving all empowered to do something and make a difference. The year will be incomplete without giving the youth of the GNYC the opportunity to prepare themselves for the end time in which we are now living. Those in attendance dug deep into the Word as they gained a deeper understanding of prophecy and eye-opening truths. 3 major events took place during the months of November and December. The first event was the TSC NYC Marathon. GNYC youth came out in full force with approximately 300 volunteers, representing one of the largest volunteer groups for this year's TSC NYC Marathon. In addition, this year, 4 GNYC youth participated in the marathon. They were greeted in every borough with the smiling faces of GNYC supporters who served from the starting line to the finish line. The second event was our annual graduation and consecration service, which was held in mid-November for the GNYC Youth Department School of Evangelism. The program was hosted by GNYC Associate Youth Directors Angel Reyes and Teddy Williamson. Over 100 candidates completed the course requirements, graduating from the various different classes. Our keynote speaker, Pastor Mansueta, empowered both candidates and their supporters alike to do something to share Jesus. The third and final culminating event was the GNYC Youth Department Annual Youth Advisory Retreat. To put 2015 in perspective, over 100 staff and volunteers of the GNYC Youth Department worked together to support the 180 churches in our conference. There are a total of 130 AY societies, 73 adventurer clubs, and 86 Pathfinder clubs, of which we had 9 new clubs in 2015. There were hundreds of investitures conducted throughout the year. Thousands of hours of community service were completed by the youth. Scholarships totaling $10,000 were issued by the youth department. GNYC did something and made a difference.